you have many, many players trying to play the same note, but no one can. Everyone is off by microns of a percentage, which gives it that chorusing effect. If everything was consonant and perfect, music would be terrible. I mean, it would be like putting auto-tune on Etta James. You know, it just would take all the soul out of it, and honestly, that's why why orchestras sound beautiful.
Wow, Score is a documentary that tries to answer the question, what makes a film score unforgettable? And it features some of Hollywood's top composers, and one of those composers is right here, Brian Tyler. He's composed scores in the Fast and the Furious series, hit Marvel movies like Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Iron Man 3. And of course, we have to mention our own network and the work that you've done on the CBS series Scorpion and Hawaii Five-0. Thank you so much for, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and we were talking a little before in the commercial break that you've been involved in music for 30 years or so. I mean, since you were a little guy.
Yeah, it's been my life's work. I didn't even realize it at the time that my parents couldn't drag me away from, you know, playing the piano or playing the drums. It was just, it's something that I've always loved.
Now tell us about Score. This is really unique.
Yeah, Score is a great documentary insight into kind of what we do, the invisible, behind the scenes emotion of these films is so often dictated by the music, and it's great to see that there's this attention being given now to what goes on. There's, of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark, we can see that. And all these films, there's such an iconic connection between music and film. I mean, originally films had no dialogue. They had you had a piano player in a room making the sound of the movie. So I think the roots of what we came from is now, I think people are seeing more and more what actually goes on behind the scenes.
Because it really gives you that feeling. I mean, everybody knows I'm a big chicken when it comes to scary movies, but the music is really what gets me, you know, like intense, and I know something bad's coming.
It can push you in so many directions. It can give you the feeling of melancholy or romance or anxiety, you know, all these things, and so I think that's why the music is so connected to emotion in the film-going experience.
And you were interviewed along with more than 60 other composers, directors, and film executives.
Right. They really went for it. I mean, this movie is like encyclopedic. It really captures it. It's very entertaining. It gives an interesting insight. I think people will be surprised at also how much film music they actually know just in the back of their head. It's just, we're kind of that subconscious voice that plays throughout a movie, and it's cool to see a documentary covering this.
Yeah, and so you've done a lot of action figure types. I mean, is there a lot of pressure to, you know, give these characters a sound?
There really is. I mean, you know, especially when you're branding something that you need, like when I was writing the Thor theme, you know, it's this character is a god, you know, and how do you come up with music that is appropriate for that? I don't know. You do your best, and having just scored The Mummy, which came out this weekend, the terror that you feel has to be really encapsulated by the music, but there needs to be almost a romance too. People want to have fun at the movies, and the music can really give you that permission to say, you know, have fun. This is a ride.
Now there is an advanced screening of it, and you're actually going to be at this screening. So will you be taking questions?
I will be. Yes, I'm braving the theater. It's going to be great. It's on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about it. I'll be with a lot of great people there, fielding anything they like to ask.
Is there, I mean, when you do this kind of thing, I mean, is there a certain way that you approach it? I mean, do you find out first, okay, this is going to be a sad movie, or this is going to be a scary movie, or?
I mean, sometimes I'll start writing the music when I read the script. I'll be doing it as they're filming, and really trying to capture it, and then eventually I'll end up conducting, you know, the orchestra, and even then I'm making tweaks to kind of try to capture just the right tone. Sometimes it takes a few years to do a movie, and sometimes it's less, but certainly the process starts from the beginning, and you really try to capture the core of the characters, really.
And so many of you are really almost like the unsung heroes, because we don't often see the people behind the music that give us so much joy or so much sadness.
Yeah, you know, it's only recently. It was interesting. I just did a concert out in Europe, and there it's very big. There's a 15,000 seat arena, and here I think in the States is becoming more of a thing where film music is becoming something that is more aligned to, you can listen to it outside the movie, and you can kind of re-experience the movie. If you put on a soundtrack and you're just driving along, you can feel like you're in, you know, in space, and you can feel like you're in the sands of Egypt or whatever it is, and I think that's why I was so drawn to score. It's that power to transport you.
And before we let you go, because a lot of folks may be going to see Mummy this weekend, anything special we should be listening out for?
Yeah, it really is something that captures the otherworldly nature of this past creature coming into the modern world. I really love how they've merged monster with modern, and it's very scary and it's very adventurous.
And when you have to create something that's scary and adventurous and really a modern day monster.
Yeah, and really I needed to bring the Egypt into modern day London, so there's the music kind of has those strains of the exotic nature of Egyptian romantic kind of music, and it kind of collides with this tension that happens in a horror movie. So it really is a fun movie, and I'm really proud of doing the score for it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you taking the time to be here this morning. And as we mentioned, there will be a special screening of Score this Wednesday, June 14th at the Aero Theater in Santa Monica. And it's going to be in Los Angeles theaters starting on June 23rd. To find out more, just go to our website, kcal9.com, and click Scene on TV. We'll be right back.